What did a former friend do that instantly changed your opinion of them? Was close friends throughout high school. Even got one of his drawings as a tattoo. Lost touch after HS. Found him and emailed him about 15 years later. His reply, "Hi DD, glad things are going well. Let me tell you about this great product I'm lucky enough to be able to offer people like you." It went on and on, a pyramid scheme. I never wrote back. Sucks. I missed him. Hey, babe, heard your mom died last week, really sucks lol. Anyway, I was wondering if you'd be interested in my new double exclamation mark mega tentacle dildo. Question mark exclamation mark. To help fill the aching hole left by losing a loved one. The tentacles are extra floppy, and if you purchase 10 sets you receive a free body pillow. I'm meeting a friend tomorrow that might do just that lol. Haven't really talked in years and then out of nowhere he's been asking to hang out and coming over tomorrow to just visit. I'm hoping he just wants to visit, but we were never that close in high school, as in only talked at school and never hung out outside of it. He also mentioned something about going in on a business. I'm giving him a chance since we are on good terms, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. I lent my friend my car while I was away on travel. When I came back, it had a full tank of gas and a gift card to Starbucks. I had never been to Starbucks. Glad I went though because I met a cute barista there. 8 years and 2 kids later. I went trot a lot on this thread, from pyramid scheme to murder. Thank you for that wonderful story of yours. I hope you get many more. Coffees? Kids? Or more cute baristas? Was at an 18th birthday party. My boyfriend at the time left early because he had to work the next day, but my friend told me he had lied to me and gone home with another girl. I was quite drunk and impressionable as a result and got quite upset. Then she suggested I should hook up with one of her older male friends as revenge. I eventually got a lift back to his place and found out it wasn't true. His mum had picked him up from the party and he was asleep in his own bed. Turns out she also liked my boyfriend and was trying to break us up so she could take a shot at him. Did you hook up though? Yeah, unfortunately I did kiss the dude, but in the moment I was like, WTF am I doing, and stopped. Told the boyfriend everything and we had great make-up sex without the inconvenience of ever actually breaking up. Best part was when the friend approached my boyfriend to tell him what I'd done at the party and he responded with, "Yeah I know, and I know why too," and just stared her down. Her son throws paper balls 'cause that girl's a hoe. Had to think about this for a second, lol. Edit, for those who don't know, it's a classic Vine. An old friend once showed up at my house the night he found out the girl I was sort of dating was also hooking up with my other friend. He brought a bottle of whiskey and told it to me straight even though the other guy was his best friend. We weren't actually that close before that, but it was a solid thing to do and our mutual friend was fully aware what he was doing. I guess that's a 2 for 1. My dog's health drastically plummeted in one day. I went to bed and he was great. I woke and he was dying from kidney failure. Took him to the vet and he was put down in my arms while I held it together until just after he passed and broke into a waterfall of emotion. Got home with him and grabbed a shovel. Made it to the garden and started digging. A car pulls in. My friend gets out with a shovel. Walks up and doesn't say anything. Just starts digging with me. A few minutes later another car pulls in. Another friend gets out with a shovel. I realized right then and there that I had made some incredibly amazing friends. We were coworkers at the time, and I put a lot of trust in her. I was new and constantly getting shit from higher ups over things I was supposed to know without having ever been told. She was my team lead, and told me I could lean on her and ask for help anytime. Everyone on the team called her Mama Bear. I vented and confided about work to her a lot, and she listened and gave me advice. The shit from the higher ups only got worse. I talked to her more and more. Work started really getting me down about myself, and stressed me out because I knew I was losing my job soon, and I had no idea why I was getting crap when I'd bent over backwards and worked long, unpaid hours to pick up my apparent slack. It took one of my other coworkers pulling me into her office, closing the door, and telling me to my face, "You're trusting the wrong people here." Stop telling anyone anything. And then she told me all the crap that the gossip mill had going about me. Things that I had only told Mama Bear. It turned out the bitches of the group were the only ones not going around making up drama and bullshit, and had been trying to get me to open my eyes for months. I was so floored and betrayed. I started crying on the spot, but other coworker told me to dry that up and don't let them know they got to you. Hold your chin up and pretend everything is great until you can get out of here. I did just that, pretended I never found out. Just WHO was telling upper management that I wasn't cut out, wasn't putting in the work, wasn't getting along with the rest of the team, which had been true a year earlier, but then we all got along great, and anytime Mama Bear came to me asking if I wanted to talk, I told her nope. I'm good, but thanks, smiley face. Last time I saw her I was still smiling to her face, telling her I was sad to not be working with her anymore, and I'd miss her. Bitch. Hope she chokes on her second face. This reminds me of how and why I left my last job. I loved the work, loved my boss, loved our team. Then suddenly a few months in, one of our teammates was doing horribly. According to the boss, she was slacking, wasn't doing what she was hired to do, just sucked at her job. She stuck it out for 3 more months and tried to do better before leaving in a whirlwind of drama. Things went okay for a couple months. We found a replacement to hire for the team, had someone the boss knew come to help out temporarily before she went back to college. I was given the title the other girl had and moved to an office closer to the boss. Then, I dropped the ball on a major project. I was given something that had literal federal ramifications if done incorrectly, without being given instructions or help at all for how to do it. Boss was sick, and I caught it, but didn't go to the doctor and take any time off till I thought it was done. While I was out sick, the boss discovered that I hadn't finished it because I didn't know what was required to finish it, because she assigned it to me without telling me much of anything about it. From the day I came back until I quit 3 weeks later, I was told that I was no longer here mentally, not the same old foolish pheasant, not dedicated to this business. I didn't give it 3 months like the former coworker, I gave it 3 weeks. I got fussed at or written up 3 weeks in a row, so I wrote the GM an email detailing what happened and didn't return. Turned out it wasn't the coworker who was slacking, it was that the boss needed somebody to blame for her poor time management. It was my fault she had to work 7 days a week. I know pet out. Yup, I can't blame everything on Mama Bear. Our supervisor was looking for scapegoats too. That was no surprise. It just hurt more coming from someone I thought cared about me. It sucks how people twist narratives like that. Ditched me at a bar after someone punched me. He thought I was going to call the police on the venue, so he insisted he take my phone. It took me 2 weeks to get my phone back, and his dad was the one who gave it to me, which I only was able to do because I called my own phone myself, since the friend in question ghosted me. Needless to say, fuck that guy. Why didn't he want the police there? Because his brother was playing a show there. Also, the guy who punched me was selling tattoos without a license, and the venue was protecting him. I don't think my friend was aware of that part of it, though. He really wasn't aware of anything, he was beyond drunk and was the one who had given me the ride there. I got a ride out of the bar from another patron who was nice enough to buy me a meal at Waffle House. Edit, I think my wording may be confusing. I got kicked out of the bar after being punched by the tattoo huckster that the venue was protecting, and my friend took my phone and told me to just wait in the parking lot for the next 4 hours. Instead of actually being a friend and going elsewhere with me, he went back into that bar, leaving me without my phone in the parking lot, so I couldn't call a ride and leave even if I wanted to. I'm really glad that sweet girl gave me a ride home. Told me that he fantasized about raping one of our mutuals, and to make it worse, he said this while she was sitting with us. Oh, why did he bring this up? What did you or the lady say? Like, what does one even say to that? We got together for coffee after a rough week of school, work for all of us. We were catching up, and he blurted it out. Had us absolutely dumbstruck. She and I looked at each other and I told her to gather her things. Told the twat to fuck off and we dipped. I went to a boarding high school for nerds that was run by the state and therefore free. My senior year there was a weirdo that happened to have the room next to me. Kept to himself, obsessed with Egypt, definitely a weirdo, but seemed pretty harmless. About halfway through the school year, I get an urgent message from our dorm hall adult supervisor stating the time and location of an emergency meeting. Turns out the weirdo next door was obsessed with a female student on out Sister Hall. Apparently he had a weird habit of typing out extremely graphic and violent torture rape scenarios that he fantasized about performing on the girl he was obsessed with. Yikes. You never know what's going on in somebody's mind, but in this instance, we student admins all found out about it because the dumbass accidentally clicked send instead of delete after typing out one of these fantasies. That poor girl was probably sitting in her dorm room on a random weekday night. She heard her computer register a new email only to find out one of the creepiest guys at our school wants to not only rape her, but slowly torture her in a manner I can only describe as a modern recreation of the mummification process in ancient Egypt. While she's alive. I was brought into the fold because they tried to keep us abreast of what was occurring on our halls. Additionally, I had to be present as a witness when the school made him pack his shit and move out. Never heard what happened to him after that, thank God. I'm sorry, he fucking what? No kidding. And the guy was the type that probably said 6 sentences combined to anyone on the hall his senior year. Totally would believe it if I googled him and found his name linked to being a serial killer. You should Google his name and see if he became a serial killer. I just did, and unfortunately because he was kicked out months before graduation, he had to return to his home school to graduate, and since he was an extreme loner, I didn't know that offhand. And when I say he was a dorm rat and a loner, remember, this was a school for kids who took Cal 3 their freshman year or had finished up Diff EQ before they hit 13. To be considered a socially awkward weirdo at this place was truly saying something. Once again, this school had 30 to 40 people meet every Saturday morning in the middle of campus to LARP, and this was considered normal. Anyway, I googled his name, but I forgot there was a movie that did really well a few years back that had a character with TH same name, so I gave up. Did you try using the quotation marks and minus sign? It will show you exactly what you are looking for without anything after the minus sign. For example, I searched Ron Swanson, Recreation Rec Parks Nick. Turns out Ron Swanson is a guy from Cresswell, Oregon who sells furniture or something like that. So, there's that.